Hi, Mick here for Guitarist, and I'm here with Denny Eilert.
Hi Mick.
So, as you can see, we've got two new signature guitars from Ibanez. One is the LGB30, Little Georgie Benson, and the other is the JSM10, which is a John Scofield model. Both are kind of mid-price signature models for those two artists. So the reason I've invited Denny along today, you'll have seen Denny in Guitarist Mag over the years doing the ACES columns and also writing a bit. And Denny is on very safe territory with these kind of guitars. Me less so. He's even got his own big band. So we'll kick off and talk a little bit about the JSM10. Now, Denny, I believe Scofield is a big hero of yours.
Has been for many years, yeah. And I think his AS200, as they're called, aren't they? AS200 is an 81. And I actually had an 83, so I know pretty much how these guitars work. So interested to see how this one compares to it. So
John's main guitar was Japanese-built Ibanez from the early 80s, as Denny's just said. This is Chinese-built, much newer, much less expensive. So you can read all the detailed specs in Guitarist: laminate maple body, laminate maple top, Super 58 humbuckers. We're plugged into the Fender Mike Landau Hot Rod Deluxe. So Denny, give us a blast of the bridge pickup.
Bridge pickup, here we go.
So that's, you're instantly playing Scofield Este. You're kind of digging in quite a bit.
Well, he uses the bridge pickup with the tone slightly rolled off.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going for, and he actually picks quite close to the bridge. Kind of get an instant Scofield sound that way, can't you? Yeah.
Great. The neck humbucker has got 3 tone positions. It's got full humbucker, which we can hear. The middle position is a tapped selection, so just one of the coils. And the forward position is the coils in parallel instead of in series as they would normally be in a humbucker. What you play, I'll flip between the two sets of the the full humbucker and the So the advantage of the parallel setting is it sounds kind of quacky as the single coil setting does, but you get the hum cancellation as well. So it's just another option on the tone. However, I believe Mr. Scofield told you he doesn't use that switch very much.
He did tell me that he never uses the used the chord tap on his guitar. So I'm actually quite surprised that they left it on there. But and I also believe that on the Japanese ones, the input jack is put down here. I think that was another one of his things, but they've obviously put that back where it should, is normally.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting point because the Japanese guitar, I think the full retail price is over £3,000. I mean, you can get them for less than that, but if you can find one, that is. And they brought this down way below that, like £800 mark. Obviously, prices will change. Get online and find the current price. But I mean, it's a third of the price, less than a third of the price. And it's quite amazing what they can do just by shifting that production to China and making some simplifications.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at it, it looks really nicely finished. There's no rough edges. The neck's really nice. And the little volute at the back there, that's also on the originals. The machine heads are good. I mean, it's all there, isn't it?
Okay, so let's swap over.
Time for a swap, yeah.
So the other guitar we have is George Benson's new signature guitar. Now this is called LGB, Little Georgie Benson. And according to George, it's looking back to his younger days as a player, where he used to play a full-size hollow body guitar. Obviously on the Ibanez website they're never going to mention Gibson ES175, but that's the ballpark we're in here. So again, George's full-on Japanese-built guitar is way over $3,000, uses carved spruce and solid maple. Here they've economised by using laminate maple and laminate spruce, but I have to say it's a looker.
It looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah. I think the original had floating pickups as well, didn't it? So these are set in, and I guess that's another little one of those economy drive things, isn't it?
Yeah, George's other signature guitar is the GB10. It's a smaller body, and that does have the floating mini humbuckers, whereas this is sort of more of an homage to an original 175 style guitar.
Quite a bit thinner though.
Right.
Yeah, so shallower body than normal, so it actually sits into the body quite nicely. You know, it's often a problem with these standing up, isn't it, that you feel that you're leaning over the guitar a little bit, but you wouldn't have to do that with this.
And instantly, just as you played that E chord there, it sounds acoustic from where I'm sitting.
I shouldn't be playing open E chords on this guitar, should I?
It's not allowed.
I should be doing... Yeah. Sounds beautiful, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does. Well, it does when you play those chords. Most of those notes aren't on my guitar.
Yeah, well, yeah. George has got quite a few more than that, hasn't he? Yeah.
So we've heard some chords on the neck pickup. Everything's up full on the guitar. Perhaps play us a little bit of lead type stuff.
I'll try.
What are your impressions of the setup, Denny? Because they're obviously flat wound strings. What about the rest of it?
The strings that it's come with are a little bit light for me. I would put some heavier strings on it. It's got quite a low action, so I would tweak that too. But the neck's straight, and it actually plays pretty. It's quite easy playing, actually. Yeah. It's all there.
Cliches aside, does George use the bridge pickup much?
I wouldn't think he did, no, but should we try it?
Why not?
The middle one, I think. It's really a neck pickup guitar, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. When you're playing the kind of style that you're playing there, absolutely. But it does happen where, shall we say, jazz guitars get used in rock music. You know, they stick them on the bridge pickup, loads of overdrive. The only guy I can think of is Ted Nugent off the top of my head. But
He did it, didn't he? Yeah. Steve Howe.
of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
With a 175, so what this guitar's based on.
Just to explain a little bit about the amp, when Denny was playing the Scofield guitar, he was plugged into the Mike Landau Hot Rod DeVille. The Benson is plugged into this Victory V40, set slightly cleaner, which is why it isn't overdriving so much. Okay, speaking of overdrive, I think we should hear this one with a bit of grit on it, a la Scofield. I can be your glamorous assistant. Okay, so what we've got here is a Free the Tone Red Jasper. John Scofield uses a rat pedal, I
think
believe.
so, yeah.
I mean, he uses lots of stuff, but this isn't exactly like a rat, but it will put a bit of hair on it nonetheless. So, kind of, I notice you're digging in quite hard there. Now, he plays back near the bridge. We did that on a clean sound before. Maybe give us a bit of...
Sure. I think he sort of just picks very lightly, doesn't he? And it's all that sort of...
The guitar seems quite alive. It's ringing a fair
It's really
bit
responsive.
there.
Yeah. And it's really, really well set up. It plays great. I mean, we just took this out the box 10 minutes ago, didn't we? But yeah, it's great.
Maybe hear the neck pickup with a bit of drive now. I mean, they're pretty familiar 335 style tones, aren't they? It's centre blocked for anyone who's not aware of that. So it is, based on a 335 shell, slightly smaller body. So, Denny, John Scofield's obviously a big hero of yours, and you owned one of the original guitars.
Yes.
How does this compare?
This is a little bit lighter than my original one, which is the reason why I got rid of it, because actually I was getting to the end of gigs and it was killing my shoulder. Which goes to show that John Scofield is mighty physically as well as harmonically, right? They're incredibly well built. My original Japanese one was just like a battleship, absolutely fantastic. And I think this will stand the test of time. The one thing that is really markedly different is the neck on this is much chunkier, much more of a D shape. Right. The 80s Ibanez that I had a much slimmer neck, as I think a lot of guitars in those days did, didn't they? Yeah. So that's really the only difference. It feels the same. It's nice to see that they kept the inlays on there. That's a nice touch. I think it stands up pretty well against the original one.
Cool. And the Benson, obviously, in latter years, he's known more for playing the smaller body floating pickup model. I would imagine he's a hero of yours too in the jazz world.
Yeah.
What are your impressions of the LGB30?
Well, I think, again, straight out of the box, it plays great, doesn't it? As I said earlier, I think it would really, really benefit from some heavier strings, a little bit of a setup. I think the action's a bit too low. But apart from that, it's great. The fret job's fantastic. And, plays great straight from the box. Okay,
there we go. Thanks to Denny for coming in today and playing the guitar properly for us.
Thanks for having me along.
We might just play a little bit more to finish off the video. Reviews are in 395, issue 395 of Guitarist. See you next time.